Righty. After taking over a failing company, the profit took a nosedive. It took some time for it to recover and finally increase again. The profit in dollars with respect to time, t in days, can be modeled by the function p of t is equal to 2t squared, minus 40t plus 102. Now, if you haven't picked up on this is the same exact question from the previous notes in vertex form and intercept form. It's just I've given it to you in three different ways that this function could appear. So your answers are the same no matter what. If you go take a look at your notes right now, I promise they're the same exact answers as before. However, we have it in standard form. How would we pick these things out? It's in standard form, so you know the most important thing, easiest thing to figure out here is the 102. That is our y-intercept. What phrasing is associated with y-intercepts? Starting point, initial height, beginning of a certain time frame. In this case, we're looking at the words initially or immediately. So without too much hesitation, the answer to A should be 102. Question B, what was the profit for the company 30 days after the takeover? I would just go ahead and take 30 and plug it into the function. That is a specific time frame there for that. So I will feel good go ahead and doing that. And I do believe off the top of my head that answer is 702. 30 squared is 900. 900 times 2 is 1800. Negative 40 times 30 would be negative 1200, which gives me 600. I add 102 to it, and hey, look at that, it's 702. Question C, on what days did the company make zero profit? Now, I do want to let you know that this is a scenario where we would say that P of T is equal to 0. And what I will tell you for right now is that you should probably know the answers to this from previous notes in this unit. But for now, when this is in standard form, this is a question that I will not ask you. I will ask you this a lot in the next unit. So this will come up in Unit 4. Don't worry for it for now. If you really truly want the answers, they're on previous notes. Now we've come to the magical location of talking about, as I look through this right here, lowest point. I'm just going to make sure that I color coordinated correctly. Lowest point, so I know that's talking about vertex. That's a conversation about vertex, which means, since this is in standard form, I need to calculate out my axis of symmetry. Remember that formula? Maybe. Axis of symmetry is negative b divided by 2a. Let me make a skeleton. B here is negative 40, so I really like having the skeleton going here. A is 2. Negative 40 times negative is 40. And then 2 times 2 is 4. And we get that our axis symmetry is 10, which is fantastic. And we know that the axis symmetry is acting as our x value. What's taking the x value here? It's time. So that any questions that involve when, the answer is going to go right there. So time is 10. That is the answer. T is 10. Our lowest point is going to be on the 10th day in this scenario. How much exactly did we lose? Let's take the 10. Let's plug it in. If I recall correctly, the answer to this is negative 98. But again, we can go ahead and plug it in. So wherever I see the T. Oh, I don't want T. I want to replace it. It's 10. And 10 squared is 100. Times 2 is 200. Negative 40 times 10. Negative 400. Adding 102. And hey, look at that. I do believe my memory is perfectly intact, because we're talking about losing. Go ahead and give it a negative. losing $98. So application problems, very similar patterns, similar words being asked here. We're looking for, we love questions about initially here because standard form gives us the y-intercept, but we can certainly do other things. Anything with an x-intercept when we have a standard form, we're going to save until the next unit.